Hey, everybody, and welcome to Ukraine Update here on the Shills. We're starting out with 4, but as we go, there will be more. I guess that's kind of going to be the slogan of today
There
here.
you go.
We got James from Why Ukraine sitting in today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. My power just came back on. I did a live stream about ended 2 hours ago with my power going off,
Yeah.
and and now it's back on just in time. So
Good thing. Good thing.
yeah,
And we got Secular Sakai in from Tridents Against Tyrants.
Hey, been a crazy, crazy day. Glad to be here.
Your feet still sore from running?
Quite literally, yes.
And as a nice change, we got Duncan today as well. How's it going?
Howdy, 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 ho. Yeah, just a bit of a panic pre-show as Dixie walked through her food bowl and just spreads it all over the carpet. But yeah, that's fine. No problem.
There's Dixie.
normal.
Yeah. So we'll start off with the announcement that our second NAFO fundraiser is live. Once again, we've teamed up with the Portuguese Battalion of the NAFO 69th Sniffing Brigade, and we're going full steam ahead for another 18,000 euro for another truck setup. So we're also doing the fundraising to help Pete's family with costs and everything as well. And then when that's all wrapped up, it'll just be NAFO and Project Constantine. But we're doing 3 right now. So we're just going to share evenly unless a person specifically puts in a donation. This is for whatever. We've got direct links being dropped as well because, you know, everybody knows we got one of the best teams the world has ever seen. So, yeah, there's a little update there. There's lots of news happening, lots of goings on and whatnot. James, you had your nose right into happenings this morning already streaming. So,
Yeah.
why don't you start us off news-wise? Well, first, what pissed you off? Second, what made you happy?
Well, let's see. I mean, obviously, the U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, everybody knows about it. You know, it's just a mess. You know, pissed me off to no end. Let's say, really. What made me happy this week is I got to go and volunteer and actually go and build some drones here in Ukraine, and visit a volunteer drone laboratory where they build. They're probably going to build about 500 drones next month, and there's a good chance I might be able to go do that and help them. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's really putting some time and effort into things that actually really make a difference, right? Very cool.
Right.
Very cool.
It's really, really important. And that there's things going on out there on the front lines that are really, really disconcerting to me, particularly in the Pokrovsk area. And that's kind of on the southern route going into Chasev Yar. There's a big orc salient happening there. And if that gets cut off, Chasev Yar is going to get cut off. Is a real concern. And it's not being talked about enough in the news because everybody's talking about Vovchansk, which is important too, and some other parts of the front. But that's a strategic area that really needs to be gotten under control.
Yeah, that could change things quite drastically and quickly if that was to happen.
And some other changes happening, which I don't know, maybe Duncan might want to talk about too. Is the changes going on, potentially changes going on to the command structure in the Ukrainian army. Zelensky sacked this guy Sodol, who was under Syrskyi. And I think it's a really good thing. And most Ukrainians, every Ukrainian I've spoken to really agrees that the command structure needs to be rejuvenated and retrained and bring in some fresh blood. Because there's a lot of these old guys, old Soviet trained guys, and it's important to get some of the newer guys with newer training in there.
Greg Terry and I very recently had a discussion about old Soviet leadership, old Soviet training, and that's definitely what has already been proven. Some people, like, I don't think this was Greg speaking for others now, not himself, but there's more than a few people who find that combination seems to be not working as well, and you need some more out of the box thinking.
Any Ukrainian will tell you a larger Soviet army will always defeat a smaller Soviet army. That's like a common saying here in Ukraine. And so these guys who, especially since 2014, have been like trained by NATO and experience on the battlefield and they kind of worked their way up through the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys who need to get promoted into those upper command roles. And that's I believe what's really going to make a difference.
Yeah. What do you think, Sakai? Along those same lines, have you even had a chance to catch up on what's been going on, or was it just this morning that was busy? Maybe yesterday, not so much.
I've been caught up on a couple of oh geez, my audio is going to keep going up and down because
it sounds all right.
Oh, okay, yeah. But anyway, no, I mean I've caught up with a couple of different things, both on the battlefield and in terms of the politics of what's going on right now across Europe. For example, more updates about Orban meeting with Putin, which pissed me off when I saw it. But as far as the overall strategy and tactics on the battlefield, I think there needs to be a lot done, like James said, to prevent any breakthrough from the enemy side, from the Muscovites. That's the most important. That's crucial to make sure there's no big breakthrough by the Russians anywhere. As far as major changes in territory, what could be done to win this war, what can be done to meet specific goals and criteria for what would be defined as victory on the Ukrainian side. I definitely agree that Soviet tactics, against a larger force using the same tactics and strategy is not the way to go, because that basically comes down to what we've been seeing and we've been mocking for a long time from the Russian side, which is meat grinder tactics, and using older equipment and older means of engaging the enemy that just are not going to work if you're trying to do a counteroffensive. So I think it is crucial to get those younger men who have the more, the NATO training, more modernized Western style training out there. But also the real thing that I wonder is I think it really just comes down to what we've been saying for a long time. Ukraine needs the supplies, Ukraine needs the manpower, and most importantly, while preventing the Russians from taking any more territory, Ukraine needs a way to keep their best and brightest and most well-trained from ending up dead trying to prevent more land from being taken. We need to find a way to increase the loss ratio on the enemy side and decrease it on the Ukrainian side, and that's the real difficult part of the puzzle right now, I think.
3-1, 4-1, Ukraine is losing, even though they're killing more orcs. The
percentages are good, but the numbers are massive.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Well, it's also just because of the amount of losses the Russians are willing to accept.
Mm-hmm.
And so 3-1, 4-1 is not enough. It needs to be closer to 8-1, 10-1.
Yeah. At minimum 6-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is important, but also it's a major war. It's easier said than done achieving something like that.
Zelensky last week, in one of his speeches, spoke about the need for decisiveness coming from the European and American allies. And I think that the idea that has been put forth that we can just grind down Russia for in this war of attrition I don't think that we should hold faith in that. I think that our leaders need to see that we can't have this, trickle down economics for Ukraine, essentially, where they just,
let's keep Reagan out of it, right?
Exactly. It's so we need like a massive flood of equipment and training and everything else, and not this, this, we can't escalate. This anti-escalatory strategy is actually escalating the war, and coming in with some decisive amount of supplies and equipment is what is going to shorten this war. And I think that Zelensky made a really good point. You want to get that ratio up where it needs to be. They got to be able to sit back in a little bit more comfort and just kill these you know what I mean? Like we need them in safe areas making successful attacks, right? Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's spin it over Dunk's way here for a minute, because we got some shout outs to do. And
yeah, sure, no problem. We have Dawn Memento has sent in 20 Canadian bucks to be split, like you said, Dr. Dawson. Dr. Dawson, you can be promoted. Generic username has gifted a Shills membership. And Petra Olsen sent in 695 Swedish krona with love. Yvonne Way is a member for a year. Has sent in what's CHFs again? Oh, I can't remember. No, Florins. Are they the Florins? All right, sent in 5 of those anyway. And a sticker is 2 characters waving. Hello. Generic username sent in another member. But he said, "Thank you for all your hard work you do." Look at that. Us doing hard work. Makes a change.
I like that very much. Thanks, everybody. Petra, that was like you moved the decimal on your regular super chat there. Huge shout out. Wow. Was that a typo? Do you want to PM me in the background just in case? I would really hate if that's what happened, right?
I don't know my math. It's been a long time since I lived in Sweden. So how does a Swedish kroner convert to a dollar? Is it still like 10 to 1? I think it's like
it's about 80 Canadian bucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she was trying to I thought she was trying to make it work out to exactly 69. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but with these services we all use and whatnot, it would never come out that way at the end. That'd be nigh on impossible.
But she tried, we'll give her credit.
You gotta appreciate the effort. Yeah. Here we got one that I'll shout out as well. Lynn's definition, I do believe I've pretty much got that now, has sent in 60 Canadian dollars as a direct donation. So I'll just do the old split there for what we got going on fundraiser wise, and make that something that everybody can get a piece of. So thank you, Lynn. That's awesome. Let's see here. NAFO campaign. So I just realized that I kind of didn't give you enough information, but I'm very unprepared today. And the cats that are here from the Portuguese Battalion that are doing the fundraiser with us, they're just going to shake their heads and laugh at me right now. But I don't really know who's getting the truck and so on and so forth. But does it fucking matter? A good group of heroes are getting a truck. It don't matter. Let's just get it. But I'll figure it all out in the background and get some more information here. In saying this, I'll get PMs in like 2 minutes and I'll have the info. So,
now this is all going through the 69th Sniffing Brigade. And the nice thing about that is, you can trust them. You can have some faith in them.
Yeah. I don't have to really know what's going on. All I have to do is know that it's going through them and it's going to be fine. But I'll get the info anyway, right? I do actually care. I just didn't have time to care.
Yep. No, I hear you. Story of my week.
yeah, sometimes, right?
I will say this: there are a lot of battalions and groups out there fighting for Ukraine in the International Legion, in groups like the Georgian Legion, the Legion Svoboda, other groups, from all over. And to everyone who does donate for the Portuguese battalion fighting for Ukrainian and European freedom, and really just in general to prevent Russia from doing this again in the next 10 or 20 years, like they tend to do. Obrigado to all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Good show. That was good. So let's see here. There's a couple places I am supposed to go. Okay, we could get into Orban, but we'll probably have to mention
that.
It
sounds
right?
Disgusting. Ugh.
Oh, man.
Body condoms for all.
Finger. Just this finger.
On top of Orban, what has me most concerned, another thing that's got me concerned is elections are coming up again for Republic of Georgia in October, and I really hope we don't see this war spread to another country or a second front or hybrid warfare that's on a massive scale.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that Georgia was having upcoming elections.
They are, and people are concerned who I know in that country.
Oh yeah, of course. I know people too. And they have reason to be concerned because the oligarch and his cronies who are in power there right now are not going to want to give it up freely or fairly,
Exactly.
So I've been wondering, since these protests have been going on, I've been wondering why the Georgian Legion, what they were waiting for, essentially. And now I understand. You just kind of explained it to me why there hasn't been more, let's say, revolutionary activity in Georgia, because they're waiting for these elections and the outcome of the elections.
Yes, but also I think short term and medium term, you're exactly correct in that assessment. Long term, the Georgian Legion, and especially those who are in Ukraine and probably planning to stay there for the foreseeable future, it's kind of like, oh man, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but the Kastus Kalinowski Regiment, if you are familiar with them, the Belarusians who fight for Ukraine, who are opposed to Lukashenko over in that country. Yeah, I don't have any, direct line or anyone's ear on this, but I just like how they've kind of established themselves as we are long-term opposition against you. I think there might be a concern if things take a Belarus turn in Georgia. The Georgian Legion is going to be just as crucial as a group like that for hope in the future for things to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's
sorry, took your
I don't shy away from looking at things backdoor play, little propaganda push and sneakiness and whatnot. And I would say myself, this so-called Russian peace thing that they keep talking about, where if you just obey the new borders and bugger off, we'll call a ceasefire with you. That is directly built on top of other social media infiltration to get the weak-minded to go, see, look, they're trying. You see what I mean? It's garbage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's just manipulation of the ignorant. And then on top of that, you've got thousands of Russian orc bots in their sweatshop call centers. Following that up with all sorts of comments in every single online forum they can find. We had one today, actually. Some crazy nut job in my live stream. I love them when they come in there. It's great. It's really funny.
It's like playing tennis or like being a cat with a ball, just.
Yeah. And what's really funny is when they try to pretend like they are either an American or a Brit or something like that. And they're really, God knows where. Maybe Russia, maybe India, who knows?
Yeah. And the big thing is, it's very telling because, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are a few assholes in, wherever in the US or in Canada who follow the war and actually do root for Russia, just because that's true in any country. But when you see it repeatedly and people repeating that exact same line, there aren't that many hyper conservative, isolationist, xenophobic people in whatever country who are sharing their opinions online about this. They're more focused on being those xenophobic, hyper-conservative assholes toward people in their own country.
Right. And frankly, most of those people are they don't really know how to use online forums. They're pretty much chain emails is about as far as they'll get.
Well, they're good at making friends when they're watching a cam girl live, but other than that, it doesn't really work out for them.
Yep.
Got to call them how you see them, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, if we want to, I've got some news here. Let me know what direction you want to go with stuff, Dick.
Jump it in.
All right. Well, speaking of assholes, first headline I've got here is Prime Minister Viktor Orban of Hungary continues to posture himself as a potential mediator to end the war in Ukraine, despite Russian President Vladimir Putin's rejection of mediation or serious negotiation.
Did Orban and Trump discuss this like pillow talk style? We're going to talk, we could end it in a day. Okay. Yeah. Smoochy,
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me because for anyone unfamiliar, the meeting that happens every single year for conservatives in the United States within the CPAC within U.S. politics, Orban has been an invited speaker there. He's spoken on Fox News. There are obvious ties of one flavor or another to conservative groups in the US and in other countries in Europe. Like, they do talk to each other, but I don't know if I've heard of any direct meetings between Trump or Orban, but regardless, they both have similar end goals of empowerment and quietly trying to make little friendships in authoritarian places like Russia.
Yeah.
Mr. Squiggle just posted, Orban is the meat in the Trump-Putin sandwich. And it's interesting. He has a little icon of like a spit roast. So
yeah, he's a warm-up fuck toy before the big deal.
That's the mild. I guess that's the mild way of putting it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so here we go. Volume. The rest of this article I've got here. Prime Minister Viktor Orban Ukraine and its Western allies have hit out at the pro-Kremlin Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban after Vladimir Putin hosted him in Moscow. The visit came a few days after Orban made a similar unannounced trip to Kyiv as he tries to position himself as a peace broker. Orban this week assumed that rotating EU presidency until the end of the year and told reporters in Moscow that he viewed his six-month tenure as a peace mission. So, focus is on him right now just because he temporarily has the rotating presidency of the EU. It's all bullshit. It's not going to. Let me say this, because then I think we can move on. I really don't think this is for anything other than his domestic audience in Hungary. It's really like no one expects Viktor Orban to really have a major decisive end blow politically on the outcome of this war. It could happen, but it's unlikely. This is just to make sure Hungary stays Orban's Hungary.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Right. The people shouldn't want that.
No, they shouldn't, because then he does shit like help blockade to Ukraine for months on end.
Yeah. I'm an asshole.
Beyond that,
I guess Kanye West was in Moscow too.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
I saw that, and I just, man.
God.
All we need now is Taylor Swift to go to Ukraine and shake hands with Zelensky, and then all the Americans will be taking an interest. Jesus,
that'd be a funny answer to it. Yeah,
that should happen in like September or something when the electorate is just starting to wake up a little bit. Yeah.
Somebody call United 24. Have them get Taylor Swift on the line for their.
Who's that? Who's that washed up 80s action movie guy who seems to like Russia a lot?
Seagal.
Yeah. Seagal probably told Kanye, oh, no, you'll like it over there. It's just the other people that don't,
Yeah, probably.
Even being Kanye West, you've got this very African-American dude walking around strutting with all the big shots and stuff. Doesn't that kind of sell poorly in Russia on average? Like, I'm just, sorry to go there, but like,
you mean like Russians maybe get upset about it because
because they're all freaking racist as hell.
It's very uncomfortable, but I'm trying to sit there, right?
They're racist as hell, but they still secretly love and envy any American, and any American that is going to support them. Doesn't matter if it's Scott Ritter, Kanye West.
Yeah. Well, also you got to remember that it's also racism relative to the country that they live in, and just general bigotry or
they hate everybody equally, right?
Well, no, I was going to say that, like, maybe there are plenty of people who are just racist and like, oh, we don't like anyone who isn't ethnically Russian, and therefore, that's the rest of the world outside of the ethnic Russian bubble, so to speak.
Yeah. Somehow they can tell the difference between a Polish person and a Lithuanian and a Russian just by looking at them. I have no idea how people do that. But
exactly. But and that's how it is. It's irrational. It's illogical. It's just ethnic, hatred for no reason, really. Yeah. But the bottom line is that what I was going to say is I think that some of those groups who would be more angry about someone who they don't approve of, trying to meet with politicians or Putin or anyone in Russia, it probably would be more like groups that are closer to home that would like make them really upset, like this tribe or this ethnic group that's inside of Russia itself.
And it's important to consider that Russia is an empire, and Dimitru Claudiu just mentioned that half of the Russian Federation is not ethnically Russian and is heavily discriminated against within Russia. You have all kinds of different ethnic groups, from Mongolian various tribes and Turkic descended peoples and all kinds of other things. So, and they all get the shaft, basically. I mean, it is in many ways, it is a white supremacist state.
Yeah, they'll take the taxes and ruin the lives, but they don't like you.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. Nope. I just heard a ping.
Let's Dunk, you handy right now? How about we'll do some shout outs and stuff?
Yeah, we got a couple we could do with. We have Niels G. Knudsen. He's a Shill apprentice. He sends in $10. Is that right? No, hang on a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, generic username sends in $10 and says YouTube doesn't like terms turtle, tanks, or smoldering, but you can guess what I mean. Slava Ukraini. Martin Casper says, Shill Master, he says, glad that Le Pen only made bronze medal today. There was a big shock last week. Yes, that very, very far right French politician. Yes, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, between Italy and France, I am getting concerned. Between Marine. I mean, I guess no one's been paying
at least Maloney supports Ukraine. right? I mean, we can say that.
Well, for now, I wonder. Yeah, I actually
The
haven't.
majority of her electorate, the majority of Italians, do not necessarily support Ukraine.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's politically expedient or it's politically helpful for Italy within the framework of the EU and NATO to be supportive of Ukraine. And there are plenty of Italians. I'm sure there are people who are Italian right now, possibly watching, who are very strongly supportive of Ukraine. My concern is that in places like France and Italy, in a few years, if the situation ever changes and it's not economically prudent to be as supportive of Ukraine, are we going to see narratives change from, brand name countries that people recognize, like France and Italy?
Right.
Yeah.
We got a big time regular on the show and a close friend of the channel finally with us. Greg, you're here. How is things? How are you?
How are you doing, man?
Hey guys, you hear me, Dick?
Yeah,
Hey,
you're coming
Greg.
through good,
Great.
buddy.
Great. Exhausted.
Yeah,
That's a good way to wrap it up. It's been nonstop since you landed, right?
Unbelievably so. Yeah, it was a shock to the world and a shock to us. And we have worked nonstop. I have Peter with me right now.
Yeah.
Physically.
Right.
And
wow.
We have driven 500 kilometers after all of that today.
Wow.
So I'm somewhere out here. And yeah, it was a shock. It was stressful, but the bottom line is, people have been so responsive and so kind and so good. And just want to thank everybody. Thank everybody on behalf of my Rose and Sister Sally, Brother Paul, daughter Nicola, and all the friends, all the members of Project Constantine, all the YouTube community, all those that are, they feel like, once you meet Pete, he's family. He had a way to communicate. Pete was just a person full of love. And it was obvious. He wore his emotions on his shirt sleeves. Today, so yeah, so it's been tough, but it's been good. Really, what's been good is the support of the world. Dick, I want to personally thank you. Immediately after it was able to be released publicly, I had to hold this for like 3.5 days.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I literally crossed the border, and within 2 hours of crossing the border, I received the call where I had to confirm his name. And Zhenya, my partner, didn't know his middle name, and I did. So they called and says, "Okay, Greg, we need you to confirm." And I did, and they said, "Okay, well, we're 99%." And so I'm holding on to the 1%, and I'm still traveling into Ukraine. And man, you talking about being wrecked, because I knew because I had talked to him 1 hour before. And
Wow.
His final message to me was really weird, actually. There was two messages. One was I was coming through Europe, and I'm a 2 million miler on Delta.
Wow.
Okay, I have a Delta tattoo scratched on my derriere. And not a real tattoo. It's just from sitting on those seats.
Just from security.
But when so I mean, I know how to travel, man. I work in 38 nations and we roll. But I have never lost my passport in my life. Never. And I came off the plane in Amsterdam coming in from US. And when I got off the plane, for some reason, so whatever your background out there can be. For Johnny Pierce, it would be the planets aligned. For me, it will be, I think God spoke to me and said, check your bag, you idiot. I looked into my bag, and a good recommendation for all you guys that want to travel more, always make sure you put your documents in the same exact spot every single time. There's never a doubt.
Yep.
So I looked where my passport should be, and I just was shocked. I said, I don't have my passport. And I knew I had to have it to get on the plane in Detroit. So I'm going, okay, where's my passport? Where's my passport? And one of the Delta employees was actually coming off the jetway, and I hadn't left. A really nice man, the purser. And I said, sir, I need a favor, and I need you to go to my seat, please, and check. I know I left my passport on the plane because I had it. He goes, hang on, I'll go look. And he was gone about 5 minutes. That was a long 5 minutes, let me tell you. He came back and he was smiling. He walked up to me because, once you leave the plane, you can't go back on it. So they can. And he came running and he said, hey, man, I got your passport. I said, it was in the seat back cover pocket. He goes, no, man, you had lost it. It was in between the seat. It fell out of your pants before you put it away.
Oh,
and
my God.
Found it in between the seat. So I lost my passport. Okay.
Wow.
Jeez.
Maybe one day in the future, maybe when I get back home, I will play the video that Peter sent me.
Yeah.
And he sent it to Jane and myself, and he says, when is Greg getting here in that British booming accent? When is Greg getting here? I know you don't want to get here so fast. You're probably running around Europe and lost your passport.
Wow,
We're going to be doing a fundraiser
Oh.
here now, Greg,
Weird.
to make sure that we get your passport tattooed on your bum.
Dunk, it's so nice to
new
hear
thing.
your voice. But it was, now in hindsight, it was really weird. Pete was standing there on his front porch. So I was coming into Ukraine. I messaged him. I said, hey, buddy, I'm on the way. And this is what he replied. Yay, Y-A-Y, 10 exclamation points. I miss you, my brother. I'm waiting on you. Your bed is ready.
Oh.
1 hour later, he lost his life.
Oh.
Because I know the exact time he lost his life, and I know the exact time the text message came.
Yeah.
So it was tough. So we had to sit on it, and for 3.5 days, and started to leak out, here and there, just a touch, but I couldn't let it out, and Jania couldn't, because we were under gag order, because we were identifying. So once that happened on Sunday, Yana and Project Constantine, as is in proper order, released it, and then Rick was doing a stream, and I popped in for just a minute to confirm it.
Yeah.
But prior to them releasing it, I had to call Ma Rose, and I called, and I actually called the daughter, Sally, Ma Rose's daughter, Pete's sister, and I said, Sally, I need to speak to Ma Rose and to you and Paul. And she looked in the phone, and she has a very heavy British accent. Like, the words are in the back of a mouth.
Right.
She lives in London somewhere. And she looked in the camera at me, and I was on a FaceTime with her, and she goes, Greg, please don't tell me. I said, Sally, gather Ma Rose and Paul. I want to do this one time. So she started to break down. And they happened to all be at the house together. Ma Rose came in, and
wow.
So we're sitting there on a camera. Ma Rose looked in the camera, and she said in that South African accent, Greg. She would roll that R. Greg.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I haven't spoken to Peter for 3 days. And I know. I said, yeah, Ma Rose. She goes, you're confirming it, aren't you? What I already know inside. Like, she didn't know, but she knew.
Yeah.
Because, most people don't know this, but Peter and his mother communicated nonstop. And everybody does know that Maro's just basically a month ago, 6 weeks ago, came to the front lines and stayed with Pete. Very
I
well
didn't know
known.
that.
Yeah, Maro's actually.
Oh wait, I did see that video. Yeah.
She embedded with Peter for a month.
There were a couple of videos on the Project Constantine channel too when she arrived, and
there was
even little moments like when they were together with the dogs and stuff.
Dogs, and I did that interview with her, and it was wonderful. And Peter, and she says, "Greg, I know, but I do want to know everything." And I said, "Well, Maros, I'm not really ready to tell you everything because it's kind of like we did during the week." And I kept making the statement just in post I would make. We're only going to do this one time and we're going to do it right. There's going to be zero mistakes. So I said, Maros, I know what you want to know. And you want to know how and all of those questions that a typical mom would want to know. I said, I will tell you once I know, and it's 1,000,000%. And I actually didn't find that out until Friday. I was at the medical examiner. So everything's rolling along nicely, and nicely. What can you say? Preparing, and I have to once again applaud Ukraine. As many of you, if you saw the funeral on my channel or Rick's channel, the man was given a presidential farewell.
Yeah,
and well worthy of that honor. It was incredible.
Yep, some big news outlets have covered the whole bit. Like it
was miraculous that I could even hold cell signal that long. It was stupid. I mean, James for sure knows it. The infrastructure's wrecked all over Ukraine. You can have LTE or like 5G, LTE on your phone, and it'll say it, and you still have no coverage. It's just all out of whack.
I wrote a letter to the mayor of the village of the city that I was in last week because I was so pissed off about it. Like a big ass long letter. Like he's gonna need a translator, a thesaurus, and a dictionary. I was pissed.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So we went through the week, and the Ukraine did an amazing job. And I publicly announced and showed pictures of Anna. Anna is a very high-ranking military person responsible for 200s. 200 is the number recognizing those that have given their life. And she's actually the one that called Zhenya because any Ukrainian soldier or volunteer or foreigner that has signed a contract, it all comes through her offices in Kyiv, of course. And she just had the information that it was possibly a British citizen with these initials. And that's where it started. And so at that point, I know her very well, very well. I do a lot of work with her. She helps us a lot. She's up there. And she knew that we were very close with Peter, and she said, I think, and that's where the call came. But all confirmed. Unfortunately, as we went through the week preparing, and Ukraine doing a great job, and everything was on go. And you guys that saw it, you saw the processional. You saw. I did a little bit of video from the morgue. I was able to show Peter's coffin. I drove you guys. I didn't. I took you with me and Peter through the streets of Kyiv. I would show you. He was laying there behind me. We went to Maidan. You saw all of that. And then from there, we transitioned to the Catholic Church, where the actual Bishop of Kyiv facilitated the service. It's the highest honor. It wasn't just a priest, it was the bishop. The bishop also, in the first week of August, will go visit the Fouche family in London. This is the respect. It's crazy. And all of that had to be planned. But I will tell you two things, and then I'll stop talking. You guys haven't seen anything yet. I know that Maidan was impressive. I know that maybe you saw the video and we're riding through the streets of Kyiv, and that's impressive. The Catholic Church. But I'm going to tell you right now, the final service that was a closed service was at the crematorium.
Yeah.
And there was no power there. There was no cell. There was no internet. There was no options. So I filmed it all. And I had full permission to even live stream it. I mean, the Bishop of Kyiv came to me and says, Greg, I don't know what you can do, but I want the Fouche family to see this. We usually do not allow filming in the Catholic Church, but we want them to see it. And he says, you stream it. I'm the bishop. You have permission. So everything was done phenomenally. But at the crematorium in Kyiv, when it was just military and very, very close only. I'm going to share that when I have time to edit it. Right now, I'm on 5 days out in the East and the South. I have never in my 51 years of living experienced a more powerful moment than the crematorium.
Wow.
These soldiers were unbelievable in their salute and their honor. And I'm not going to give it away. I'm just going to share it, and I'll have all the YouTubers help me share it, because for Peter Fouche, that was the most powerful event I've ever witnessed in my life, and we will share it with the world. I will tell you, we almost had a snafu. We came to Thursday night late, and we received a call from Anna, and she says, Greg and Zhenya, we have a problem. When Peter was killed, and he came to Kyiv, because he was so kind of well known, BBCs had picked him up, Sky News had picked him up, his message to the West had went viral. He was a voice for Ukraine.
Yeah.
The regional police. Let me get this right, because I know Starsky's in here now. The Kyiv Oblast police and forensic detective units got involved, and the reason they got involved is because Peter was so prominently known that they wanted to make sure 1,000,000% it was him, and never. And it's not that they do not play disrespect for other soldiers that have lost their lives, but Peter was so well known that they says, listen, we will not make a mistake for this man or his family or the world community that knows him so well. And I received the call Thursday night late from Anna, and she says, Greg, they're requiring DNA. I said,
wow.
Hold on one second. Hold on a second. Hold and accept, end and accept. None of that. Send a voicemail. All right, I should be back with you now. He says they're requiring DNA. I said, what do you mean they're requiring DNA? I said, I've already identified him, the best I could, and Ma Rose had given me full power of attorney with the apostille documents coming out of London to be the full family representative. And I mean, that's from everything. I have Peter with me right now.
The documents have been seen by others. It's 100%.
The documents, 100%. Yeah. I have full authority, not only to handle all of his military affairs, his finances, identification of the body, signing all the documents from our Rose. I need rehabilitation on my right hand. I had to sign my name for her at least 150 times. Just so many documents.
Mm-hmm.
So the detective called and he says, I'm not comfortable, and I'm going to require DNA, which will delay the process for 6 weeks. And I said, no, that's not happening. And I said, Anna, you need to fix this.
Yeah.
You need to fix it. You are high ranking. She goes, Greg, I will do my best, but this is serious. I said, okay. I said, please fix it. She called back 30 minutes later, and this was late at night on Thursday. She says, Greg, I need you in Kyiv at 8:30 in the morning. And I was in Khmelnytsky. So Jane and I got up at 2:30, we left at 3:30. At 8 a.m., I was at her place picking her up, and we went to the morgue. And there I had to meet with the forensic detective and the Kyiv medical examiner. And they came out and they says, listen, we know that this is so hard. But you're physically going to have to identify him. If not, I'm delaying it 6 weeks.
Wow.
I said, man, I will do it. So I called Ma Rose and the family. I said, listen, I've got to identify Peter. He says, please, we support you, and we're so sorry you have to do this, and we love you, and thank you. So we go in, and I will tell you, Peter was treated like absolute gold in that medical examiner's office.
Nice.
He was treated like a hero. It was extremely difficult. And unfortunately for myself and Zhenya, these images will be forever in my mind. But I had to sign all these documents to go in there. And I will tell you guys this, and I'm going to lighten it up now. I walked in, and there's 2 examination tables, and over on the right, there's a fallen soldier. And they were doing their work on him. And over on the left, and there was like 10 people working there on Peter. And as soon as I walked in the door, I stopped and I told the medical examiner and the detective, I said, I don't need to go any further. That's Peter.
Wow.
And they said, well, okay, Mr. Terry, we understand, but first of all, you can't identify Peter from the door. You will physically have to go over, and I'm sorry. I said, I will. I said, it's not about that. I will.
But
I'm telling you right now, telling you right now, it's Peter. And they go, well, how do you know from here? I said, because that's his pants. And they said, okay, those are military pants, and of course, they're not legal for us to identify a fallen soldier. But why are you saying those are Pete's pants? I said, because he has a rip in his front right pocket, and those are the only military pants he has. And I can identify the marks and the rips and the stains on them. And they are 100% Peter Fouche's pants. And I can tell you right now that just a few months ago, the YouTube community in the world raised money for Peter to go buy a new uniform at least, and buy new pants. And he begged me not to make him do that. And then he called me 3 days later and says, Greg, I'm sorry. Please tell everybody in the world I love them and thank you for the pants, but I'm going to buy supplies for the soldiers with the money. I'm wearing my pants. I said, and I pulled the video up of Pete holding those pants. And the medical examiner detective go, oh, okay. But it's still not legal. I said, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
So we go over.
Hell, I would have known him by those pants. I mean, come on.
We go over, and Peter is laying there peacefully. And I identify him through about 7 different things. I know a scar on his hand. I know his ring. I know his bracelet. I know his rosary. I know his twist necklace. And it's all there. And I'm calling them one at a time. And then I show a picture. And they're going, okay, thank you. 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 Does Peter have tattoos? 0. How do you know? I know. Okay, we confirmed that. And then the medical examiner and the detective looked at me and goes, Greg, is there one last thing you can tell us? And we will close this case. I said, yes. I said, go over on that side. And I'm standing right beside Peter. I said, go over on the other side and lift up his hand. But I'm going to tell you what you're going to see before you lift it up. I want you to look at his thumb, and you will see a permanent black circle under that thumbnail. It is not a bruise. It is not a tattoo. It's not a stain. It is a mark that Peter has under his thumbnail. They go over and they raise his hand, and the medical examiner detective look at me and they go, "Thank you. This is Peter." And we are honored that we can officially, do it right.
Wrap it up.
And that may sound a little bit on the edge for people. It wasn't morbid, guys. It was an honor. It was an honor to help Ukraine do it right. And I'm just telling you, Starsky, and I see you here. I'm telling you, man, Ukraine, Peter's been treated like a president. It's unbelievable, the respect.
Yeah.
And just want to just say it. And I'm telling you guys, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring Starsky in here proper. So Starsky,
Dick, before you do that, I have to say this because I haven't told anybody. Nobody. Because I was waiting for this one piece of information only for the Shills. Are you ready?
Turned up loud and listening.
I have Peter's phone.
Oh.
That was purchased by the Shills community.
Right.
Oh, yes. I remember that fundraiser.
Do you guys remember that? Peter needed a phone and and Dick raised the money for it. I have his phone.
So
full circle, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Thanks for letting us know, Greg.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Damn.
We should with it in your possession, we should make sure that Miss H there herself can get at any content that might want to be saved and whatnot, right?
Listen, yes, sir. And Ms. Ma Rose is going to have everything. So I'm making a quick run on the entire front line right now. I'm somewhere in the east right now, but I will end up somewhere down in the south. And next Saturday, I will be in Warsaw, Poland, and I will personally hand over Peter's ashes to his family. They're going to fly to Warsaw and meet me there, and personally hand over so many things from Peter, documents, passports. I have the death certificate, all of his military records, everything, and we're just doing it right. And I'm very proud that all of us together we do this right. So
yeah, it's been hard on a lot of people, the loss of Pete, but I know, of course, especially so for you, for Halina, for Yana, and of course for Pete's family and brothers in arms. Thank you for everything that you've done.
You're very welcome
for all of them, Greg. It is appreciated.
You're very welcome. I'm cutting my trip a little bit short because I'm going to go out, and I have to be back in Ukraine by August 22nd because they're giving me a resident permit. So this is super cool. I'm actually getting a certified volunteer residential permit, which means not a visa, none of that. I'm just free to come and go basically as a resident of Ukraine.
Is that a new thing?
That's a.
Yeah, it was like that several years already.
You have to
last year it was like that already. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but you have to first of all, you have to be a registered organization, and then all these documents and all this paperwork. But if everything's in order, it's been for a couple of years they permit it. You just have to have everything in order, and they've been very, very helpful for that for me. And it's gonna make it so much easier for me now. Just
we should definitely welcome Starsky real fast. Before we do that, though, Greg, I know a lot's already been done and given, but two things. One, if there's anything I can do to help out, either with Pete's affairs or specifically, I know there's been kind of a fund to handle the funeral and things with his family, his daughter. Please let me know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then Yana said it would be okay to put together a video to kind of honor his memory. So I might ask for your input on that.
Absolutely, man. Listen, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, this is. Hey, Pete was beloved. We're in the clear. We got through the gag order process, where we had to wait. No, man, we want to all celebrate Peter together, honor him
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, Starsky.
Hi guys, please don't concentrate on me. I just wanted to say that I'm really, really happy to see you guys. I was traveling while this news with this tragic news with Pete reached me, and I didn't talk much these 3 weeks. It's hard to lose friends at the same time when people who come from other countries, from distant lands, to help Ukrainians when they sacrifice their lives is just it's a different level of grief. It's just something that I cannot explain, but this is something that Ukrainians will always remember. That's something that I want you to know. Ukrainians will never forget these sacrifices.
I will, and Starsky, that message right there, and all the, and I know, man, you know Ukraine 5,000 times better than I do, but you understand. I mean, military administration, British embassy, insurance offices, registration offices, police department, morgue, crematorium, all these places you have to go to, sign all these documents, and you'll sign one document, and then you have to go to another place and get a document, and then go back and sign a document at the same place. Every place that I went to, because I had to give the power of attorney, and Anna was helping me every step of the way, and nobody ever raised one question. But here's the message they all said. And I will tell you this. Today, when I picked up Peter's ashes at the crematorium there in Kiev, the chief of the crematorium walked up to me, and he said, and this is the message every office and every person said, even down to the Catholic priest, the bishop. They said exactly what Starsky said. They said, I'm overwhelmed at the love that this man had for Ukraine. He's not Ukrainian. He's British and South African, but in our hearts, he's Ukrainian, and he will forever be Ukrainian. And we are so thankful that he would come here as a foreigner and give his life to stand for our people. We will cherish him forever. And that was the final message I got today from the director of the crematorium. But that was the little lady sitting at the desk when I would give Peter's passport information, all this, and she go, "Oh, that's the British guy." Everybody knew that's the British guy. I said, "Yes."
Right.
She goes, "Please tell his mother he didn't have to come here, and he chose to." And that was the respect that every person gave, from the top to the secretaries. I mean, that's the message.
It's that well deserved when you walk into somebody else's war and put yourself on the front line, right?
No question.
Yep. And that's another big part of the reason why we can't stop, guys, no matter what. That this is a war that Ukraine needs and deserves everyone's support who's here, who cares about this, because we have to make sure that all the sacrifices over the last more than 2 years of fighting, Pete's and everyone else's, that it all, we need to make sure that it all coincides toward Ukraine remaining sovereign and prosperous, because that's what they fought for.
Mm-hmm.
We were given permission today, and I will share the video here. To be quite honest, right now, I don't even know how I'm able to keep a connection with you, to be honest. It's very bad where I'm at as far as connection. We're very close right now. And today, midday, we We went with Galina on the um which bridge? Well, I won't call it the bridge. We went on the bridge, and I won't call the name of it. But you guys, let me tell you how respectful this was. So I will spread some of Pete's ashes near to where he gave his life. All those permissions are in place, and we're going to push it a little bit, and that's where Ma Rose wants him to be laid to rest, where he gave his life. So we'll be
Wow.
very we'll be very close to that location. Of course, I can't say where that's at because it's hot. But that's what we're going to do. A portion of his ashes, Galina had asked. She really wanted them to be spread in Kiev, the capital, and she made the decision. She said, "I would like to spread his ashes in Kiev, in the Dnipro, in the river, and let his ashes just flow throughout the land of Ukraine." And we said that's a great idea. So military helped us. We got full permissions. So guys, you cannot go on a bridge and video. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Like the moment you walk across a bridge and pull your phone out, they're watching you from somewhere with binoculars and cameras. They will be there so fast. You will go, where did that guy come from? That's how hard they're protecting these bridges. So we go and we have to walk, and it's Galina, myself, Zhenya, and two guys from Project Constantine, a Brit and a New Zealander, a Kiwi. And that's it. It's going to be really private and small. We go to the bridge, and and Anna, the military lady, the six of us, who's responsible. She walked with us every step of the way. We go to the bridge, and the police and the military are there, and we walk up to them, and I think Zhenya went up to them and says, "We've got really special request here, and we need you to approve this." And he told them what we wanted to do. We wanted to go on the bridge, and we wanted to film it, and we wanted to spread Pete's ashes into the Dnipro. And they go, "Is that the Brit?"
Really?
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Everybody knows, man. Everybody knows in Ukraine. Now,
Wow.
is that the Brit?
Right.
And we said, yeah. That's not allowed, but let me call my commander. Hold on. That's how they talk. Hold on. Let me call my commander. Hang on. That's the Brit. And, we're holding the urn. And he goes, okay, give me 1 minute. And he comes back and goes, okay, the commander's coming. Hang on. This is how good the guys were. And then Anna walks up and goes, okay, guys, really like to do this. We know it's way against protocol, but please. Commander comes and goes, okay, we will approve it. Let me make a couple of phone calls, but I need to send one guy with you. And we're actually going to take you under the bridge because you need to go to the other side because of the way the wind is blowing, and we want this to be perfect for you. So we were escorted out, given full permission. We went on the bridge. I will be showing video of this later.
Cool.
But everybody knows the statue to the motherland there. That's the hammer and sickle was replaced with the trident. It's beautiful there. The Orthodox Church and then the white Catholic Church there, all of that. Pete's ashes were spread into the Dnipro right there. And in the background is the statue and the golden domes of Kiev. And I'm telling you, it'll make the hair rise up on the back of your neck. So they came out, gave full permission. They helped us, escorted us off. And I'm telling you, man, it's presidential the way they treated him. So
that's nice.
Once again, kudos.
When people call you commander, you're the one that has the scissors that can make red tape go away, right? So good on them.
Yeah, they did a supreme job. I have lots of issues when you I'm preaching to the choir here, but you have some good areas, you have some bad areas, you have some great commanders, you have some ones you want to throw in the ocean. It's just the way it is in war. It's not just Ukraine; it's every nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, there are 0 complaints over the last 9 days. It's been golden.
That's cool.
This is the country I fight for.
Yeah.
Right here. That's the Ukraine. That's real Ukraine. And I'm proud to represent the family and all of you guys and to take Pete on his last ride here.
Well, Starsky, your fellow countrymen are looking real good right now.
Yeah, and I can say that I've been to this crematorium, oh my God, so many times. Even before the war, my both grandparents were cremated there and buried not far from the crematorium. There's this big cemetery around it. And unfortunately, a lot of my friends are there too right now. And the administration is very responsible and responsive. You know, when you they always try to help with whatever they can, and especially when it comes to soldiers nowadays. Ukrainian, I cannot call foreign soldiers foreign. You know, they're Ukrainians now.
Yes.
Starsky, you know when you go around the back side of the crematorium there, and then you go down into the crematorium, and there's like 6 or 7 kind of big steps where people stand around and the coffin comes down. Okay, so he had full colors and drum and bugle and 21 gun salute. We're walking him down, and the bugle is playing, and the guns are going boom,
yeah,
boom.
It was
and
majestic.
I'm telling you guys, you wait till you see the video, and Ma Rose wants it all shared. But let me tell you this: we go in, it's just military, Pete's closest military, and only very personal friends were there. But it was full. And you go through the process, and then the funeral director, wonderful lady, she goes, okay, this is the time now if you would like to come and lay your hand on the coffin and say your final goodbye. This is the time, but that will conclude with Galina, his fiance. And then after that, it will be Greg representing Maros. And they just came, and flowers and empty bullet casings and all of his comrades and partners and friends, and they all did it. And it took quite a while. And while that's happening, national anthem of Ukraine is being played, the anthem of Great Britain's being played, and I mean, it's so moving. And then it ends, and Galina looks at me, and I said, okay, Galina, you go. And she went, and it was extremely difficult for her. And I went up and tried to support her. And then Ukraine had given this bouquet of 24 white roses. And I'm holding them. I take them down to the coffin, and I put them on. And man, I held it together very well, but I lost it a little bit there for a few minutes. And I kneeled down. I put my hand on the coffin and represented all of you guys, and we gave him the thanks for Peter and his life and his family. And I stood up, I turned around, and I just told those guys one statement. And I said, and Starsky, in there it's concrete, so it echoes like crazy. I said, everybody here, I'm just going to say one thing. Peter loved Ukraine, and that's it. He loved Ukraine. And I whispered under my breath, I went, Slava Ukraini. And they went, get on Slava. And it was
nice.
Dude, it was like a movie. Okay, at that point, and you the pallbearers, which are military, they come and they grab the coffin, and then they rotate it and they move it into the position for the crematorium. And while that time is happening, I walked over and supported Galina, and we were standing right there beside it. There's this little music that plays, and then the lady, the director, says, okay, this is our final moment. And we're thankful for Peter Michael Fouche, and we commit his body for eternal keeping. And at that moment, these doors open. And I know this may be strange for some of you people, and the crematorium where the coffin sits, it starts to lower. And Galena and I are sitting there looking down into that hole, and I'm holding her and hugging her and consoling her, and I'm just feeling overwhelmed, and we're watching Pete be laid to rest there, go down. And I'm going to tell you something. One of his fellow soldiers, he let it rip, man. And Slava, and it echoed through that building, and then it was Ukraine, Ukraine, Slava, 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 and it was this chant.
Yeah.
And it was not the prayer of Azov. We had that at Maidan. It was this different chant. And I'm going to tell you, just please hear me. It went from the deepest sorrow to joy at that moment. It was like so powerful. And Galena stopped crying and she goes, I love my country and I love Peter. And it was unbelievable. So
that must have been a moment to be a part of.
Dude, I think I went to heaven. It was powerful.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that place where he's talking about, where his grandparents and others, and it's up on a hill, and it just overlooks Kyiv, and we had a perfect blue sky, and I want to I want to say also, on Twitter, one guy who does so much work for Ukraine that I think on the YouTube side needs to get a lot more recognition is Harry EST. He was there every step of the way supporting, and it was so beautiful. Rick the Ukrainian, Andrew Mercado, so many people came, and actually I have I have Rick and Andrew with me right now, right down the hallway from me.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think
dude,
you got some of those people pretty close
I've got
right
them
now,
with me
don't
right
you?
now, and yeah, they're enjoying, they're learning.
Cool.
But I would just say, man, it was. I guess I need to stop talking. I'm reliving it all. I'm reliving it all. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all this with us. I mean,
You're welcome.
so that we, I saw the main ceremony, and I mean, it was just amazing. It was so beautiful, and the music and your sermon and just everyone was just. I had it playing. I usually have my headphones in, and I was playing it out loud as I was, walking around the house and stuff. And my wife was like, "You're playing church music? What?" She was shocked.
Yeah,
She knows
listen,
I'm the.
I think even Dick Dawson played church music that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She knows I'm.
But guys, listen, I even down to the singers that the Bishop of Kyiv chose. That girl that was singing back there was like an angel.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'll agree there for sure. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
All right.
Yeah.
What I feel about it is just, I hope that Pete inspires not just all of us here, but I hope that Pete inspires 1,000, 100, 1,000 more Petes.
Yes.
Because that's what we need in Ukraine, in the Ukrainian
His legacy
army
is worth that easy.
In the Legion, foreign fighters who come forward and can be the face that people can attach to, and it's not just some battle in a faraway land, something that people can connect with. And I think we've seen how powerful that can be, and I just hope that those foreign fighters who maybe have been afraid to come forward and afraid to speak and stick their neck out will maybe start to do so.
Yeah.
I will make this one statement, and everybody please, and I'm only doing this because this is on the Shills, and Dick Dawson doesn't play around. But yesterday, just give me about 24 more hours. Yesterday, so I have to have a certification to carry out of the country Peter's main marble, beautiful ashes written both in lovely Ukrainian and lovely English for his mother. And it's really big and very heavy. And my time frame to get to Warszawa or to Warsaw is at a certain time where I need to meet his family to pass Pete over. So I always travel by train. But for this...
Oh. Well, how well do I know this problem, right?
Oh, you're back. We lost you for a
Did
sec.
I lose you?
Yeah. You're back now. You were like, so for this, and then boom.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now. Do you hear us?
We can smell you now.
Yep, you're back. We're not getting them properly?
No.
Oh, come on, Microsoft. It's not that difficult. Oh, I think he just dropped, so he's just going to rejoin quick, probably. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
It should be in like 5 seconds.
Little power bumps, little power changes can cause that. You know?
There you go.
There we go.
Am I back?
You're good,
Okay.
buddy.
Look, man, get to that good story and then I'll leave you. So I usually travel by train, but this time I'm carrying Peter and I have to be there at a certain time. So I'm going to run to Lviv and just jump on a bus and go straight to Warsaw. It's easy, it's comfortable. And 2 days ago, Jane and I bought my tickets on the bus. And I'm not going to say the bus company yet, but I'm just telling you right now, Dick Dawson and James Starsky, Secular Sakai, and Dunk. If this bus company does not fix it, we're going to demolish them.
Oh,
and this is the Christian preacher here. We're going to demolish them. I
love a moment when somebody earns it and somebody gets it. Yeah.
I bought 2 seats, paid for in full, fully ticketed, fully receipted, one for me and one for Peter. I'm setting his urn in the seat beside me. He's riding to his family. They canceled his seat.
What?
They canceled his seat and refunded that seat because they said it's not a physical person. Now listen to me. I bought 2 seats. I have the receipt. I have the tickets.
Yeah.
And when that email came, it was in Ukrainian. I handed it to Jen because I can read Russian, but not Ukrainian so well. So I handed it to Jen. I said, man, what is this? He goes, dude, they just canceled Peter's seat. I said, excuse me? So we immediately called. Listen, we immediately called. And we talked to Dimitri. And I was very kind in English. I said, Dimitri, we have an issue here. And we, this is just, we bought 2 tickets. And we've paid for them in full. I have the tickets. One is for me, and one is for a fallen hero that will sit beside me in a huge, heavy urn. It's his seat. And he goes, I'm very sorry, but that is against our policy because maybe it may be a pregnant woman who comes. It may be somebody else, and we can't have that seat for an urn. And I said, hold on, brother. I paid for the seat. I don't care who sits there. Pete's sitting there. And he goes, I'm sorry, but it's against our policy. And Dimitri and Jania went ballistic. He says, you're a Russian bot, aren't you? No, I'm serious. Dude, it went ugly quick. It went ugly quick. And then the guy goes, well, I'm going to pass this to my superiors because now you are like threatening me. I said, brother, the threat hasn't happened yet. You haven't seen anything. I'll bring the stinking 3rd Assault Brigade to you.
Yeah.
And I said, no, listen, and this will be interesting. I said, man, Dimitri, listen to me closely. You have a soldier that is fighting for your country, that has given his life, and I am taking him to his family, and I paid a full ticket for that seat. You can't cancel it because you don't think a physical person is there.
Yeah. You know how many people in your government go, oh, the Brit, and you're the only one not playing along here? Motherfucker.
So listen, I'm not going to call the company yet. We're getting on 24 more hours to fix it. But listen, they're based in Germany. And finally, once we figured that Dimitri wasn't helping us at all, Zhenya just went ahead and asked, so you're Russian, right? You're Russian. Because if you were Ukrainian, you would not be doing this.
Yes.
I cannot talk about who I am. I cannot talk about where I'm from. It's against the EU rules. Da, 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 da. And Russian Zhenya's going. Zhenya's like, okay, dude, you're going down. Because this is like not even human what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is not human. The man paid for 2 tickets. We can sit Mickey Mouse there. We have the tickets. But we're
Exactly.
sitting a Ukrainian hero. And the guy goes, it's not my hero.
Oh,
Oh,
those were the exact
What?
words.
oh yeah. Oh, dude. He's not in Ukraine. He's in Germany at a call center.
Wow.
Yeah.
Limp dick
So-
mother.
Yeah, I knew this was good for the Shills.
Open up a whole can of whoop ass.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh,
It's
2-hour rent-filled drunken live stream
No, it's just
anytime,
going to be
fellow
about
babies.
it's going to be about 30,000 negative reviews.
Oh yeah. There'll be some organization on Discord and some coordination and whatnot.
So this is what Zhenya did. Zhenya filed a complaint to the European Union. To the European Union, and has given them 24 hours to fix it,
Yeah.
or there will be repercussions. So tomorrow could be interesting. So, but you know, that's just the reality, man. It's like we couldn't believe that.
Go
Was
full
this
of tickets
FlicksBus?
on them. Go full of
This
engines
FlicksBus?
on them. I got an F-16 outside of town, and I could blow up the block in one push of a trigger. No, authorized ticket.
Zhenya started ripping him in Ukrainian, in Russian, in English. And listen, you don't want Zhenya mad. You don't want a Yevgen mad.
Yeah.
Listen, Yevgen's dad was a major in the Soviet army, fully communist and propaganda war machine. And Zhenya got a little hot blood in him. He lived 12 years in Georgia. He's Ukrainian, born in Berdichev. But he said, man, I'm telling you, we're going to have a war here. I said, oh, yeah, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And he's ripping him and just couldn't understand it. So he says, we're just going to file a complaint with the EU. We're going to be civil about how we handle this. But
We
if
got
this is not fixed. No, Zhenya asked him point blank. He says, man, we've had to deal with a funeral for 9 days. And now Greg is going to be on the front lines for 5 days, roll back all the way to Lviv. And you're going to tell me he has to carry like a 10-kilogram urn sitting in his lap?
Yeah.
From Lviv to Warsaw?
It'd be
You're
broken.
not putting Pete under the bus.
Yeah.
You're not putting Pete in luggage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Against our policy.
Greg,
I said, okay.
Greg, I have a question. Is that a Ukrainian company or is that a German company?
I know the
Flicks.
company. Yeah.
Flix. Oh shit.
Yeah, FlicksBus. I knew it before you said it, Greg. I was like, yeah,
Flicks.
it's FlicksBus.
I didn't want to say it, but
Yeah.
you know, it's Flicks. So please, anybody in the chat, anything, do not do anything yet. But because I can't see the chat. But yeah, we're boiling, man.
Please,
We're boiling.
please hit like and subscribe on your way out and await further instructions.
And let that be the only thing you guys do, please.
And Starsky, I went into the
Yeah, if they don't fix that, we're gonna freaking devastate them. That's
Yes, we are.
100%.
Yes, we are. So
Precisely.
we'll have an
Collectively,
update
Collectively,
Listen.
with the reach we have with people on social media, they do not
Dude.
want this to happen.
We
Yeah.
told them that, and Zhenya has, in the file to the EU, told them that and suggested that this is, listen, he's very smart. He gets into legal things and all that and says, listen, you really need to rethink about what you're doing here because I don't understand. Hold on, guys. You ready for this? This is what Dimitri said. Well, because it's like 30 minutes of yelling after we tried to be civil at first. And we had that boy about wetting his pants. And he says, well, if it was an invalid situation. And Zhenya goes, well, Greg is crippled.
Oh,
Well, I'm born this way. And my left hand was deformed from birth. He goes, he's crippled. And he got to carry an urn. And Zhenya's going, man, We're going to bring hell upon your company if you do not
Seriously.
fix this.
That's like going to be an international freaking incident.
Dude, it was so bad. So bad.
Oh yeah, I could collectively see 1 million subscribers worth of YouTube channels just raining all hell down on
We
them.
told him that, and we said, we asked. I said, "Well, is there a higher superior to you that I can speak to?" And it was very, at the beginning, kind. And he goes, "No, I'm the highest." I said, "Okay, well then, man, you in trouble."
Yeah,
you in trouble.
Oh yeah.
You should bring in your superior into the argument here, Greg.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I think that may be coming.
Yeah.
Germans love their rules. That's the thing. That's the one reason why I didn't stay there. I got
this is true.
All the damn rules.
Okay, here's the thing, though, and I know Starsky knows this much better than I. But like, I'm talking to this cat in English, and of course, I know English here is his second language. I got it. And then, but Zhenya, being native, can hear the language, and he's in the background going, "Okay, he's Russian, dude."
Yeah,
right.
I can tell.
Yeah,
he's Russian.
Yeah. Which makes everything just awful, right?
It does. It should have been anybody else.
But everybody answers to somebody in the corporate world, and there's no way there's not somebody on top of him when shit hits the fan publicly, and all of a sudden they just, take this social pressure. Man.
There is a very significant EU way to file those complaints, and the EU is required to contact the company and respond to the complainant within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So just give us the time. And the best thing that could happen to us is that we receive a message back from FlicksBus, and they say, "We deeply apologize.
Yes.
Your seats are restated. Please forgive us."
Yeah.
At that point, I'll let it go.
Exactly. But you don't want to fight. You want everything to go smooth, right? Of course.
Please forgive us. And by the way, that employee has been sent back to Russia.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, he's on the front line right now. Here's his picture.
That's exactly what I think, because apparently that dude is just sitting there like he has relatives in a freaking Khabarovsk or Ryazan, I don't know, and
right.
Basically that explains everything. If he was some kind of different person, that
well, you can't Starsky, you can't trust my ear not tuned as well to Ukrainian as it is Russian from all the years of learning and speaking that. But when you're with a native Ukrainian speaker like Zhenya, and he goes, "Greg, I'm just telling you, he's not a Ukrainian.
Yeah,
he's not a Ukrainian." And,
absolutely. Like 100%, they have Russian employees there. Whatever, he can have like a German identity, German passport and shit, but still.
Yeah. It took me forever to ask him, and I keep screaming. I said, "Man, you're Ukrainian. You're Ukrainian." And he goes, "He's not Ukrainian." I said, "Where's your office in Kyiv? I'll just come visit you." He goes, "No, I'm in Germany." I said, "Oh, okay, now I understand."
Yeah.
So you a Russian bot working in Germany, making it difficult for Ukrainians. I got the whole picture, buddy.
Once an orc, always an asshole. What are you gonna do, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely want to hear updates on that.
You will. You will. Yeah. I'll hopefully we'll have a response back by tomorrow night. So.
God, Greg, there was a question in the live chat there. A couple people looking to get an update. Fundraising for Ma Rose and everybody over costs and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah.
I will have an official number for you guys on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I can tell you that when, because I never do appeals like that. We may raise money to buy armored vehicles or something, but never something like that. But people were just messaging and giving and saying, I think during the funeral, we raised $17,500 just during the funeral. But that number will be updated by Tuesday. And I will continue even at the crematorium. I think we should push on up at least 25,000. So any expenses that go over top of the funeral expenses will be gifted as scholarship for his daughter, Nicola, and
Nice.
we're also gonna give a gift to Ma Rose. So I'd love to do it like we give Ma Rose a $5,000 gift and give Nicola a $10,000 scholarship for her future schooling. So that's everything on top of the funeral
Right.
expenses, which pushing out to be about $10,000, to be honest. I mean, just for me to get, I have to have an EU certification document just to carry the urn with me across the border from Ukraine into Poland, the EU. So when I get to the border, they'll actually pause. They'll already have the documentation that there's an urn on there, and then I'm the one that has all the documents for it. It's registered to me, and then what they do is they take the top off and they just confirm what's in the urn, and
Really?
then they have to put it back on. And so like drugs couldn't be transported or something. I mean, I kind of
Yeah.
get it.
No,
I kind of get it. Nope.
as
Yeah.
as someone with friends and people I know very well in Mexico, that is an important step to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that, but it did cost 800 euros for that, but no problem.
Jesus.
People are giving to help with this. No, it's like today I got a message from Ma Rose. We're out on the bridge, and it was through Sally, and Ma Rose goes, please ask Greg. I want to send some money to help for the funeral. I messaged Sally back. I said, Sally, did Ma Rose lose her mind? I thought I told her when this week started that the family would have zero expenses and actually would receive a blessing when this is over. Please remind her of that. And if you send any money to me, it's going to be a problem for you. We're taking care of this. And so she gave her that message back. But Maro is just wonderful. But we get to the border there on FlicksBus, if they're still in business. And I have to come off. I have to go with the customs person into that a little special room because it's ashes. They will then, respectfully, they take the lid off and they inspect, and then they put the lid back on, and then they will seal it with this wax at that point, and then they put
Wow.
this marking over it for the EU. So it's okay process, no problem.
Wow.
But that's where we're at.
Wow. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
and also, Greg, yeah, I'm glad that someone asked that in chat because as far as the fundraiser, I had heard about the funeral expenses, but I was going to ask you in private because I didn't know if there was something like a scholarship fund for Pete's daughter. I'm really happy to hear that that's being put together as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's just really powerful. The reason that Pete was allowed to go to Ukraine to fight was because his daughter gave him permission, and it's the real story. Daddy, you can go, but Daddy, you must promise to come back to me. And she let him go. And she sent me the statement to read for her at the funeral in the Catholic Church, and it was beautiful because while he was there. They had a couple of conflicts over certain things, as fathers and daughters do. And he's still there fighting. And then the message came in for Peter's funeral, and I read it. And it was, Dad, when you decided to go to Ukraine, you came and asked me if you could go. And at that point, Dad, I gave you an ultimatum. You can go to Ukraine as long as you promise to come back to me.
Mm.
And then her next statement was, Dad, you fulfilled your promise. You came back to my heart, and I feel you here in love like never before. I'm proud of you, Daddy. Nicola. Powerful, man.
Yeah.
No, that was not incoming. That was my phone falling off of the cover.
Okay, good. I'm gonna flip the script quick here and grab Dunk to get us caught up on some shoutouts and super chats. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna check the time and make sure my son isn't going ballistic yet. So, oh, is he there? Did I miss you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Here. I'm just yeah. So we got UK
Hang on, I'll be
UTV
right
and ham. It's been sent in $5. There's just purchased a Shills patch from the current fundraiser. Hooray, Slava. And we also have generic usernames gifted the membership. You know they exist, sends in $10, says flags of triumph need threads of peace close. 1,000 flags, please. Day of triumph approaches. Thank you, Pete Fouche. Yes, thank you very much. And T33 Suskefornen sends in 4,000 Hungarian florins. Pair character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off to say you are amazing. I hope that was a picture and not the statement, because that would be a very, very weird super chat to send in.
Real quick before you keep going, Dunk, I just want to say big thank you, especially to Hungarians who are taking part and giving, because we need more of them to speak up in support of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Very nice. Andrew Z has gifted 5 Shills memberships. Leslie Bow says, how's fundraising going, Greg? Well, he's just told us all about that. Mr. Nobody says, I needed to hear I need to hear this. Thank you. I love Ukraine too. Sorry, I screwed the pooch on that one. And Jerry Stander sent you $39.17 Canadian. The note says, hey guys, a little help for your fundraiser. Ooh, thank you very much.
Cool. Are we all caught up?
That's your lot.
All right. So I've got 10 to 15 minutes before parenting has got to take over. But, we got a more or less full-length show in, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Before we sign off or anything, Starsky, anything you wanted to, get to or mention, or, maybe you've got a corporate entity you'd like to screw over too? We should probably make a list.
Well, not really. Actually, last week I spent approximately 60 hours in the freaking FlicksBus.
I've been there.
Traveling. Yeah. Well, actually, it was a very important travel for me personally, because when I was a little kid, I was 10 years old, I think. I've been to Italy for New Year, and there was a family. I stayed with them for a month approximately. It was like 1996, and then we lost connection, and after almost 28 years I found them, and I used this chance to go there and see them.
Wow.
And it was such an emotional moment, guys. Like, we had so much to talk about, and they were so worried about me when the war started, like back in 2014, and then the full-scale invasion and stuff. And they were like, we always thought about you, how are you, and things like that. And it was amazing. So after almost 28 years, to meet them again, it was completely insane. And
that's cool.
And while I was there, I received message about Pete from different friends, and of course it was also very, very emotional moment. So it's like, mixed feelings, a lot of emotions, and these 3 weeks, they were absolutely crazy. But hopefully, since tomorrow, I think I will join the efforts in fighting Russians wherever we are and with whatever we have. So, guys, I'm back, and I'm really, really pleased to see everybody in the chat here. So, Cheryl, yes, I'm wearing the pants. That's correct. I can prove, but I will not. But basically that's it. Not much happened during these 3 weeks. Like I've been traveling a lot. I met a like very, very uneducated German cop who probably thought that he was like still in DDR or something, because
It's a fucking theme tonight.
Yeah, we had like a small conflict because he didn't know legislation. But other than that, I'm okay. I'm fine, and I'm back with you guys.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to have you back, buddy, for sure.
Likewise, guys. I missed you so much.
Yeah, it's not quite the same when you're not around. You know, everybody likes that. Educated on the situation opinion, but the ability to flip into discussing other things that are personal to you and whatnot. They like people like that. They get a lot of real Starsky just hanging out, right?
Oh, guys. Okay, let's talk about food, all right? Since we're here. So, Italian pizza. If you've never been to Italy, you never tried like true pizza, because Italian pizza, even like the simplest one, margherita, what makes it different from other pizzas is like mozzarella, like thick layer of mozzarella, true mozzarella, and it's simply amazing, guys. To me, maybe like it's an off topic. One of my childhood dreams came true there, because I also went to Pompeii. I was dreaming about it since I was like 5, going there since, I don't know, after like 6 years of being unable to travel like anywhere at all, was absolutely insane. But like local pizza, local food, oh my god, there, like we went to this restaurant, we had pizza, we had spaghetti, we had steak, and after that I didn't eat for almost like a day or 2, because I was like like Python, like devouring
Mr. Creosote. Yeah.
Hey, Dick, he needed a klezma. That's what he needed.
Not klezma. I think something like I don't know. But it was really, really cool. The coolest impression, because the best way to make me happy is give me plenty of good food. Like one of the biggest impressions is like local pizza in Italy, and it's something that you cannot find anywhere else. Just trust me. If you've been to like Italian restaurant in your city, if it's not in Italy, it's fake. It's like just
yep.
I'll bring you a quick story on this one, because if you watch the series Rome that I worked on, you look at the first few episodes, and they're always like gaunt and thin, and little thin faces. But all the actors by the end of the season, they're all like plump and fat, because they've all been eating Italian food.
Yeah, it's true. One of the revelations for me was when I went to Pompeii and I saw I thought like there's like a bunch of ruins, and when I saw like paintings on the walls, when I saw like texts written 2,000 years ago, and they looked legit, they looked like modern, like advertisements made 2,000 years ago on the walls of an ancient city and shit. It was so crazy. Like we spent all day just roaming around and seeing places. It was insane. Like it was my biggest dream since I was a kid, and it came true this year. It's insane, guys.
Nice.
Starsky, what year were you born, if you don't mind sharing?
85.
85. Okay.
Yeah. I'm turning 39 in the day after tomorrow.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Old man. No, you look young, Starsky.
Well, I know it's because I keep myself in cold places, cold, dark places.
The secret to youth: just avoid the
Yeah.
sun. Yeah, I'll say this: right after Italian pizza, my next favorite. Some people might want to slap me for saying this: Albanian pizza and food. If you've ever had it,
I've had their food, but not pizza. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little known thing, but Albanian pizza, I would recommend it if you're ever in the country.
Cool. I got to turn to Greg here for a second. Greg, somebody who sent money along your way, there wasn't a selection for Tapeach's thing. There was a couple other selections or something. Does that sound about right?
Oh,
when was that sent?
I'm not 100%. I just saw this question random. Lisa Van Vellen, I think it was in the chat. Yeah, it went through today. It went through today.
Everything coming in today is for Project Peter.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be sending over a chunk of today's as well to that, right? Because we're doing the split. So, Yeah. There was also a couple people talking about Helena herself, any cash needed, this and that and whatnot. And if anybody wants to throw cash directly, I know I can get it to her, like right from my PayPal to her PayPal. You just put in for Helena in the donation. We can do that easy. Right? No problem.
Yeah. I know she was really broken up when the announcement video was up on the Project Constantine video channel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those gut-wrenching moments in a person's life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did amazing. So proud of her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tough situation, but she did really good.
Yeah. Very much. Very much.
One of the craziest things. One of the craziest things that I saw the other day was, you probably remember that video where Russians were shooting their wounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I think several weeks passed since this video was published, like everywhere on the internet. And after several weeks, Russians decided to make like a fake Russian news using that video. And traditionally, they made the report on Russia 24. They made a story that it was actually like a Ukrainian soldier, and Ukrainian soldiers were like running from their positions, shooting their wounded. Like everybody saw that video already.
Yeah.
But because it was on Russia 24, it was dedicated to their internal audience, of course, which doesn't have much access to those videos. So it was kind of cringy, but again, like, the more I learn about Russian bullshit, Russian lies, Russian fake news, like, even though there are moments when I think that I saw everything, when we thought that we reached the bottom, someone knocked from below,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was I had a thought. I mean, it's short notice now because, and this and that and all, but one night this week, if you're free, Thursday, Wednesday, or Friday, whatever, we could do an evening show, your time evening, right? And have a little birthday fun, since it's, you can welcome getting older very soon.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Can we get Greg to organise the strippers?
Yeah.
And we could rub your head for good luck.
As far as I remember, I celebrated my previous birthday with the Shills as well. I might be wrong. I remember that there were a lot of my friends. There was Mercado, by the way. There were a lot of guys from the foreign legion. But in the end, we were with the Shills. So I think it's a good tradition anyways. So.
Yeah, man, we could put the word out and let Rick and Mercado and the whole 9 yards know about it and go live for a couple hours and just let people pop in and out and have a chat and be some fun
bring
stuff.
Cake and pizza.
Yeah. And somebody bring a Hawaiian pizza, will you? Just to start the argument. All right. So we gotta get ourselves in wrap up mode here. Otherwise, I'm gonna have somebody knocking on the door beside me, going, "Get out of there!"
So, Dick, I should go at either the beginning or the end. Your choice.
Okay, well, your turn now then. That's beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. Beginning.
How's that working out for you, buddy?
Sorry, I should have said the end specifically.
Well, that's no problem. Okay, we'll leave James till the end there. So we'll go to Secular Sakai then.
Yeah. Oh, my volume went down again. Yeah, just it's I know it's not been the best of circumstances at all recently, on a couple different fronts, but thank you everyone for being here. Good to see you, Greg, Starsky, Dick, Dunk. Oh well, James walked away, but James too. Just let's keep doing what we've been doing. Let's up the ante. Honestly, if anything, if there's one thing that this entire situation has lit in me, it's the stuff that I try to do to support Ukraine. I'm always looking for ways to move it forward and do more. And this gives me a hell of a lot of motivation to do exactly that. So I hope that it also lights the fire in everyone here who's listening. Please remember Pete. He was one of the best guys I have known in the pro-Ukraine community. And yeah, Slava Ukraini.
Heroyam Slava. Let's see here. We'll go to Dunk because he can do the last of the super chats and shout outs and whatnot and throw somebody under the bus for a joke. I usually do that.
Yeah, I can scrape through some of those. We got $100 from Stephen Walsh. Thank you very much. And Aussie T says Slava Ukraini. He wrote it in Ukrainian. Thought he could catch me out. Didn't work. Lynn Stefanisian sent $100, 100 Canadian bucks in and saying for sweet Helena. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'll say my good nights to everybody. First of all, obviously, I'm going to say good night, sweet Pete. Thank you so much. We're also very proud of you, and also to Greg and Starsky. You know what, guys? We are so proud to just be associated with you. So love you all so much. And see you. Well, he's starting to make me cry now. See you all next time. Bye bye.
Good one, Dunk. That was awesome. Let's go to Greg Terry then.
Yeah. So thank you for being here, pushing me to the edge of my exhaustion. So to recover right now, I'm working on some food. I'm going to be going with the, what am I having? I can't, Galicinia yogurt. And Galicinia fruit yogurt. I'll be sipping on this for a little while and rest myself right into the arms of that bed behind me. And plan tomorrow is we have breakfast at 9 a.m. We will be gathering some supplies here in the city we're in, and then tomorrow will be all some Kharkiv Oblast, Donetsk Oblast. We'll be in Zoom. We'll be in Regorodok. We're going to be over in a couple of other villages in Slavyansk. Just lots of different places at different times, and then we'll shuttle down there and probably stay at my buddy's place in Kramatorsk. And then from there we'll work down and help the guys that are holding up over there on Cross right now, which is difficult, to be quite honest, with that push off of a Cherokee. We're getting close to what I call the Loop Road, and then even down below south on the push on toward Karakova, very important. Then we'll head over to Zaporizhia, and we've got some units we're supporting down toward Robotny, and very, very important. Get those guys done, and then we head for Kherson. So that's kind of how our week's looking.
Right.
Andrew and Rick are doing a really good job. Rick a little nervous when we go through the block post and got to show that passport.
Yeah.
Oh.
I said, we'll get you out of there, buddy. We'll get you out of there somehow. If we don't, we'll leave you there and pick you up later.
Yeah.
No, he's doing a good job. You know, last night he was on his chat and he was just bashing himself. And I'm such a coward. I'm just such a coward. I'm just such a coward. Da, 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 da. So we're in the van today and we get about halfway to our destination. He's sitting behind me. I turned around and I said, Rick, look at me. You were a coward, but you no longer are a coward. You're going. And we'll bring you back. But you're going, and I am proud of you, buddy. Proud of you taking the step to go experiment and to learn. And
not everybody has that naturally in them.
No.
It's no judge of character or anything. It's just the fact of life, man.
Well, yeah, and he said, I said, Rick, it's just going to make you better. Better to do what you do. You raise a lot of money. People trust you. It's not corrupt. What you raise goes to the guys that need it, and Ukraine needs you. But once we get you around that loop one time, you're going to come back with a renewed vigor. Now it's not going to be talking about, well, you know, we're helping the guys in Pokrovsk. You're going to be in Pokrovsk. So you can say, well, we're helping the guys in Pokrovsk. Now I can tell you about 80% of the buildings in Pokrovsk are demolished. These guys need our help. So when you add a little butter on the bread, which is truth, it makes you a better communicator. And he'll grab those things. It's going to be a very good thing for Rick.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess a big thing also is, you know, courage isn't the lack of fear. It's being afraid and still doing what you need to anyway.
Yeah. Let's go to Starsky here. What do you think there, buddy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, guys, I missed you so much. And I'm really happy that I'm back. I'm really happy that everybody is okay. I hope Commander Macmillan will get well soon. From what I see from the chat, and also I wanted to say big thanks to Greg for taking care of Pete and his relatives, because you know, people must understand this. It takes so much courage to work with relatives of the of the people who passed away. It takes so much courage, and not only courage but also internal strength to do all that. I have just a small relation to this as a press officer, and I realized that I could not take such responsibility and do this like full time, you know. But people like Greg, they totally deserve our respect because they realize that nobody else can do that. And I want to say that I highly appreciate it. Guys, again, thank you so much for supporting Ukraine. This is the right thing to do. I just wanted to mention really shortly that one big step, I would say one small but big at the same time gain that we achieved recently was International Crime Court issuing new warrants for Russian generals. And I think it will turn into a good trend, and more Russian terrorists will be wanted, and hopefully we will see them in The Hague one day. There's nothing impossible. Slobodan Milosevic and Karadzic also thought that they will never see Hague in their lives, but they were wrong. And with that, I would just want to say thank you for staying with us, guys. You are amazing. And I appreciate your support wherever you are.
Good shout. Good shout. Professor Gerdes in chat says Project 22, Pete's last fundraiser, is now up to 93,000 pounds. Thanks for the shout out there, Professor. Good to see you. So awesome work, everybody. Let's get this thing in the bag. We'll be dropping the link as well here.
Professor Gerdes, send me some Calgon to take me away.
Yeah.
Calgon, take me away.
I use that joke and so few people even know it now. It makes me sad.
Starsky, thank you for those kind words, man. Appreciate it. It was a lot of work, and appreciate that.
So
Gerdes
James
says no.
Yeah. James, we saved you till last, so here we go.
Thanks. I apologize earlier because I wanted to speak, and then my wife walked in. I thought she was asleep, and I wasn't ready. I need to tell her this directly.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. I found out today I've been accepted back into the International Legion. I'll be rejoining within the next 3 weeks. I'll be joining the Alpha Company of the 1st Battalion as they're starting their own separate recon drone team. And I'm going to be one of the lead technicians. And it's something I've wanted for 2 years now, and I'm super, super excited about it. I still have to, go and do all the paperwork and all of that, but I'm, basically being fast tracked. I went through 3 separate interviews over this past weekend with the whole team, and finally talked to the final boss tonight, literally right before the stream. And
wow.
And yeah. It's interesting because the most recent drone fundraiser we did was for a drone for the Alpha Company of the 1st Battalion, for a reconnaissance drone, because they didn't have any, and they had to go through just hell to get any sort of recon. And then so they got back to me and they're like, well, we don't exactly know which drone we need to get. And then it turns out I find out why, because they don't have a drone team.
Right.
So
right.
I'm going to be the guy who's going to choose the drone that they need to purchase. So we're basically going to be working on, Mavics pretty much.
Just keep Starsky out of the way, because he has a tendency to shoot them down.
Yeah. And I just told my son while we were in the stream here. My son, lives in California. And I'm going to go upstairs and tell my wife right now. She's not going to be happy. I can tell you that. So yeah, they, I'm just elated. I know I don't seem like it, but I'm trying to speak quietly so that so that she doesn't come running in here going, "What?"
Yeah. Hey, stay safe, buddy, and give the orcs hell.
Thank you.
Damn right.
It's still not 100%. Like I said, I still have to go and fill out all the paperwork and stuff. And again, if that doesn't work out, then my backup is to go and build drones with the in my last 2 streams, I featured an NGO that's building drones for the Legion. So that was my backup plan. But now I'm not going to stop doing this. Obviously it's going to change. I'm probably not going to do live streams quite as much, but it'll be something more like maybe, Big Mac's Battle Blog, if you watch that, and I'll still keep doing fundraisers. Actually, probably more than ever, because I'll be fundraising for my own drone team.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know.
Oh yeah,
So I'm super excited. And Greg, you look like you are super happy eating that popcorn right now, man.
I'm having a party.
We
looks like the best popcorn ever.
Greg's got to get himself munching and sleeping. So
Seriously.
I'm like a mule eating wires, man.
Yeah, we should. Here, I got to give a shout out to Silver Earth. Silver Earth is the one that sent me that painting that was won auction or raffle. I can't remember, but big shout out there. And Silver Earth put in Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava. Y'all stay safe. And that really includes you now too, James. Definitely.
Thanks.
So let's give a big shout out to our team here. Annette on the Shills main account. She runs the teams in the background. We got Crazy Cat, Leslie Bowe, Liam Wakefield, new on the team. Big shout out there. Beyond the Headlines, Annette's new show is rescheduled to next week. It's been like a week and a half that just nobody wants to remember. So, we're kind of getting around to things again. I'm sure you all understand. And a huge shout out to everybody with donations and super chats and, liking, and you can subscribe too. We don't mind that. And, all that groovy stuff. We're doing a split today with the donations, so they'll be going out accordingly. And one direct to Helena, I'll arrange that as soon as we're done. I know all the right people. It won't be hard. Don't worry about it. Right, Greg? I think I know the right people to make this happen easy, don't I? So we got to get out of here because I'm going to get in trouble. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And as Dunk would say, stay chilly out there. Good night, everybody.
Hey, that's my job.
Don't watching you.
I had to throw somebody for a loop once. Okay, good night.
It's over. Go home. Go.